Hi, it's Katrina with An Addict Speaks. Happy New Year. I hope everybody had a good time with family and friends and didn't do anything that they would regret, at least not too terribly much. This being the second day of the year, I wanted to do a quick video on rock bottoms and what it would take for you to change the course of your life. And as I said, I'm still paying for the choices and the things that happened during that time. But I want to tell you a quick story about what I thought was my rock bottom before my real rock bottom. So I had been arrested several times before the final time that I was arrested, and each time they would let me out because I had never been in trouble before. And all of these were related to the same charges. It was all prescription fraud, etc., and everything around that. But anyway, every time before when I would go in, I would make sure that I was prepared with something in case I went into withdrawals or whatever. I didn't want to be sick, so I made sure I came equipped, prepared. And to that end, the night before the final arrest, I was very, very sick. I had reached my rock bottom, I thought. I didn't want to go and do another prescription. I couldn't get it to work that day for whatever reason, and I took that as a sign. This is it. I should be done. And you know what? I should have heeded that sign because I do think that's what it was. And so I didn't want to do it. Came down to the last minute. I managed to get it done, and there were no pharmacies open. And my daughter insisted, oh, let's go to this one. I know who they are, blah, blah. And in my weakness and my whatever, I eventually, even though I kept saying no, 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 I eventually let her go in and do it. And the rest is history. So the very next day, once I knew they were coming for me because they had discovered what had happened, rather than preparing like I had every other time, I went ahead and I took 60 or so Roxycodone 30s, Opana, and Xanax. Took them all down. Didn't care if I lived or died. I had a Chihuahua there. He was going crazy. I'd had 2 other Mastiffs that I had to place in the prior months because I could no longer take care of them, and my Chihuahua was just in despair. It got bad. And so when they finally showed up to get me, I was in a stupor. They had to drag me out, and I was wearing a dress, the dress that I referred to as being losing everything but the dress on my back. That was what I was released from the jail in. And when I was released, it was covered in mud because that's, you know, how they had dragged me to the car. But anyway, they tried talking to me. I was completely out of it. I remember bits and pieces once I got into, you know, check-in and, or not check-in, what is it, receiving, intake, whatever, check-in. And when I got in, I was just in a bad way. And I remember the lady there, I was telling her that, you know, I didn't want to live. I was done with my life. I was done with the way I had been living. I couldn't handle it anymore. I couldn't handle the pain of withdrawal and the sickness. I couldn't do it. I couldn't. And that was the end. It would be better off for my kids if I wasn't here. And then I kept talking about my dog. And I remember her saying, well, you can get another dog. And I thought, wow, maybe that's the problem with people today is we just go through things and we're like, well, you can get another one. That didn't set well with me. But anyway, it took a couple of days for me to get out of that point. I was in a bad way. But anyway, so moving months after that and in talking to a corrections officer, she said to me, Katrina, you've lost everything, but you still have your health and you still have your children and people still love you. And I said to her, you're right, I do. You're right. I do have to look at it that way. And what's so sad is I still had remnants of those cravings and desires or whatever in my head because, of course, my daughter hadn't spiraled yet, so, you know, and I got pain, right? Pain I haven't had since. Miraculously. Anyway, I thought I couldn't kick this stuff, and I did in the jail, hardcore, probably one of the worst cases they'd ever seen. Months later, I lost my daughter. So I say all this today, and I hope I can, you know, try to get this wrapped up here really quick, but what's going to be your rock bottom? What does it take? You know, what does rock bottom mean anyway? Mine was a true rock bottom, but not everyone's. I don't want everyone, no, not everyone should be. Does it take losing your loved one? Does it take losing your life? Does it take spending the rest of your life in prison? What does it take to get to that point where you're like, that's enough, no more? Or to even say, I will never do it to begin with. It's not worth whatever for that moment, because it's absolutely not. It is absolutely not. There is no, don't listen to them when they tell you, oh, well, they got addicted, or they died because they didn't know what they were doing. What a crock of crap, you know? Everybody, you know, anybody who gets away with something always has those fine nuggets of wisdom. But what's it going to take? And, you know, I hope you don't have to reach the rock bottom I did. Listen to your voice like I should have that night before. And I probably very well could still have, you know, everything going for me and be able to put that stuff behind me. So I am recovering. I am getting through things, no doubt about it. But as I told you before, it is a long, hard road, and it has been far from easy. So have a wonderful new year. Please make good choices. Live in the now, because you may not get another chance. And if something is nagging at you, telling you this is it, this is your moment, go get help. Listen to that voice. I'm telling you now, listen to that voice, because it was strong that night telling me, don't, Katrina, don't. And then I did. So have a great night, and we'll talk to you soon. Hopefully tomorrow I have like an eye surgery, but I'll still be able to, I'll do it anyway. I'll have a patch on my eye maybe, but that's all right. All right, you have a good night. Thank you for letting me share with you.